Okay. Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt. This is the last of a dying breed. With the AMG C63 going to a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder, this is now the only V8 that you can get in this segment, and this is the most spicy version of said car. This is the RCF Track Edition, and it's got a lot of cool special stuff going on. So let's talk about it. First thing we're talking is money. Now this is the Track Edition. It is, I believe, limited run, and it's a lot more expensive than the base RCF. The base RCF starts at about $68K. This starts at about $101K, so about $33,000 more, or close to 50% more than a normal RCF. So it is pretty expensive compared to the normal RCF, and it's really expensive compared to the other competition, which is also faster. But this is the last NA V8 that you can get. Now that the AMG is no longer V8, this is the only one that you can get. And being a limited Track Edition, this has got a collectability factor that the others aren't going to have. So what does the Track Edition do to the car? Well, the engine itself stays the same. Even the suspension tuning stays the same. However, they took a bunch of weight out of the car, which we'll talk about in a minute, and they put better tires on it. Okay, so then where did they lose the weight? 120 pounds was taken out of this car, and here are the big places. This is the biggest one. Your wheels and brakes specifically. These are BBS forged wheels. They're a satin matte finish for black, and they look very track specific. And then you've got F carbon ceramic brakes underneath, and together at all four corners they mass to 50 pounds of saved unsprung weight. That's a big deal. And then all the way at the back we've got our typical stacked exhaust, very classic Lexus F stuff. This is a titanium exhaust though, and it saves another 15 pounds. Again, pretty big deal. And if you haven't seen it so far, this thing is caked in carbon fiber. You've got a carbon fiber rear diffuser. You've got the coolest carbon fiber rear wing. This, of course, being the static wing rather than the powered deployable rear wing. You're gonna save on motor weight and that sort of thing. And just look at this. Carbon fiber and then a contrasted F woven into the carbon fiber. That is freaking cool. Plus you have carbon fiber roof. Weirdly, you don't have carbon fiber wing mirrors. You do have carbon side skirts, and of course the carbon fiber hood and front splitter. But it doesn't stop there. You also get carbon fiber in your door cards here. Look at that. We're going to talk about this in a minute. And you've got carbon fiber just above your glove box. Really cool. But since we're talking about the carbon fiber, let's also talk about the blue stuff going on. Now, blue is Lexus's F color. You know, BMW is like red, lighter blue, and then darker blue, or maybe it's purple. I don't know, I'm colorblind. But Lexus's is blue. So you do have it encircled in your engine cover. This is not carbon fiber, it's just plastic. But look at this manifold. That is the coolest thing ever. That's awesome. And the blue doesn't stop there. You don't have it, weirdly, on your front logo, because if you did, that would be designation of a hybrid, and it's not, obviously. But you do have blue around your F logo on your front side, or front fender. And you've got it around your badge on the rear deck. And of course, driver's side as well. Plus, you have it on the F for all your brakes. Sweet! But you guessed it, the blue continues on the interior. You've got blue stitching for your door card. You've got blue interwoven carbon fiber. Amazing detail here. You've got blue seat belt. You have blue in your seat itself, all the way down your butt crack. You've got blue Alcantara over your gauge cluster, blue for your steering wheel, blue for your center console, blue stitching in your shifter. And that's totally it, right, Matt? There's nothing in the rear seats? Incorrect! It's really not showing through on camera, but the interior perforation here on the rear seats is also blue. And I almost forgot, you have blue for your shift paddles. Nice. But now we're back outside to talk spec. I hope you like Nardo Gray, because this is the only way that you can get your RCF Track Edition for this year. In previous years, you've been able to get red carbon fiber interior, but this year, you can only get it in Nardo Gray paint, and you can only get it with the blue interior. It's a good thing I like this spec, because it's the only way you're going to get it. And I'm going to talk about one more weight savings thing. Usually, at this coin holder thing down by your shifter, you'd have buttons for your heated and cooled seats. You don't have that here because Lexus has removed them for weight savings. You know what they didn't remove for weight savings? The rear seats. Now, you can see with your own human eyes that you're not going to fit back there. No one with legs is going to fit back there. So, I don't know how much you would have saved or how much they have saved by removing heated and cooled front seats that you can sit in, but I have to imagine it's less weight savings than they would have saved if they removed the rear seats entirely, and then they would have fitted, like, I don't know, a roll bar back here that's the same blue as that exhaust manifold or engine manifold. That would have been super cool, saved more weight, added rigidity, and been a better sports car. And then I kind of have to complain about tires for a second. This is the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, which is a great tire in a vacuum objectively. It's awesome. We tested on a bunch of other stuff and I really like it. However, this being a track edition, the hardcore one, I kind of expected to see like a Cup 2 or a more aggressive set. We did take this to the track. We'll show our Hotlap later in the video, but they did okay, but I can't help but feel like a Cup 2 would have gotten more performance out of the car. And then we're talking Alcantara. Your whole steering wheel is made of it. Plus your door card over there, above your instrument cluster here, your seats, these are Alcantara, your shift handle, Alcantara. Weirdly, your headliner, not Alcantara. And of course you get Alcantara in your rear seats, which we talked about earlier. So there's a lot of it in here. And then I have to show you one of my favorite things. It's called Expert Mode. I didn't name this, Lexus did. And this is hilarious. So you go over to your drive selector, you flick it once to Sport, you're in Sport S. You flick it over again, Sport S Plus. Then you hit this button, that's traction off. Watch right here when I hit traction off. Ready? Friggin' Expert Mode. Traction off, stability off, front collision off, Expert Mode. And then I'm going to talk about seats again, but specifically these ports here. This is where you would run a race harness through, and look at the pattern. Now memorize that pattern. And now look here. Look familiar? What about here? Familiar? Cool. Then I have to talk about the wing mirror, and there's two weird things. One is the fact that it's not carbon fiber when everything else is. And secondly, it's hard to tell, but you can tell that the color profile is just a little bit different. So this is like a normal way that every human sees color, and this is like how a Hollywood director sees Mexico. It's just like upping the hue to more orange or brown or sepia tone, but it's just weird because every time I look out of my side mirrors, it looks like I'm in Mexico. And would it even be a sports car without launch control? And then there's the new screen, which is great. I love it. I don't have to just use the touchpad anymore. I can actually touch the screen and adjust things that way. You can also get dual functions, so you can look at other stuff over here. The only thing that I'm going to ding it on is the fact that it doesn't support wireless CarPlay. This is a $100,000 car. It's a brand new screen. I want wireless CarPlay. Not only did they remove the heated and cooled seats, but they also removed the torque vectoring differential. You get a Torsen LSD, so you still get a limited slip diff, but there used to be a TVD button here where it would send 100% of the power to one side or the other with your torque vectoring diff, which is an option for the base RCF. Why is it not on the Track Edition? Wouldn't it make it more tracky? And then there's the engine. I know we talked about the blue and stuff before, but we have to talk about the engine as a whole. This is one of my favorite engines on sale, the Lexus 5-liter naturally aspirated V8. It's in the RCF, IS500, and my favorite car possibly right now, the LC500. And it's just awesome. It's super reliable, it's stout, it doesn't make the most power in the world, but it just sounds amazing. It's 5 liters, naturally aspirated V8, makes 472 horsepower here and 395 pound-feet. That's the same tune and same power that you get in the base RCF. Maybe it would have been nice if they had, squeaked it for a little bit more, but this is why you buy the car. You can't get a V8 in the M3, you can't get a V8 in the M4, you can't get it in the RS5, you can't get it in the C63 anymore. That's going to be a 4-cylinder. So if you want a V8, Lexus is the only name in the game now. And then I want to mention a very specific perk, and this is an awesome thing to come with your RCF Track Edition. When you buy this car, Lexus will throw in an experience at their performance driving school, which is fantastic. You can learn from an expert and you can push the limits and explore your new car in an environment that's safe, controlled, in a place where you're not going to bin it. And it's just really cool. They put this on every year at a bunch of different tracks around the country. They do one at my home track at Road America, and I'm kind of hoping that I can go next year. So Lexus, let's hook it up. And another place I'm going to ding the car a little bit. That thing right there, that lever, that transmission. This gets the 8-speed transmission like we saw in the old GSF, the normal RCF, and the IS 500. It's not super sharp. It feels old. It makes the car feel a little bit older. What I would really have loved to seen in here on the Track Edition was the 10-speed from the LC 500. Now that's a good gearbox, and it would fit really well with this engine. So I would have liked to see that. And then we'll talk suspension. You do have adaptive suspension here, and it firms up pretty well for the track. But the thing that I really like about it is the fact that it does just soften back. When you just want to drive this thing on the road like a normal human being, if you just have to go to work or something and you're tired, this does really, really well. It'll get you to work without beating you up. This has a better ride than really any M car, any AMG that I've driven recently, and it probably borders the Audis pretty well. So I like the suspension on here. And then just a weird omission, no head-up display on a Track Edition. Just seems odd. So those are the 22 most interesting features of the RCF Track Edition. Now here's my hot lap at Road America. So we're gonna try to break the minute in expert mode. And here we go. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Way too early on the brakes. Shit. I'm gonna lose time there. Ooh, okay. Can we still hit the minute?
The same thing happens here.
Oh, I'm way offline. I'm not gonna hit it. And I'm shifting when I don't need to be.
Just stay with
I'm all out of sorts. I'm all out of sorts. Oh, there's no way. I've this last corner again. Too much push. Let's try it again.
Wait, cool down. Cool down. Wait, you didn't do it.
I did it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
Even with the absolute shit final section.
You probably could have, you could honestly probably, if you clean that up a bit, you could probably get a 57.